Hold on to your bones, because you're back here with me, Skellywampus, and we are back in our bite-sized Redstone playlist, series, tutorial, I don't know. But we're back, and today we're talking about power sources. Okay, because we've got the redstone dust, now we need a way to power it, right? And so I think I have just about every power source, I think. If I forgot one, I'm very sorry. First off, we're going to start with the tripwire. And what have I done? Oh, I broke my redstone. That's what I did. Yeah. So, if you're using a tripwire hook, you need one on either side with string in between. And the second something comes in between those tripwire hooks and triggers that string, it'll send out a redstone signal. All of these signals will be putting out a signal of 15. If they're not, I will be sure to state that. Okay, so trigger the string to turn the light on. This is a wooden pressure plate, the ones we all know and love. I didn't grab every variant, just every wood pressure plate works the same. So if you step on a wooden pressure plate, it turns on. However, if you throw an item on it, it also turns on. Wooden pressure plate does not care. And this is a stone pressure plate. Almost the same. If you stand on it, it will put a signal out. However, if you throw an item on, no dice. Stone pressure plates will not put out a signal just by an item being on top of them. And also another thing to note is mobs can both step on these and trigger these. So, you know, a creeper can walk into your door if you have a pressure plate on the outside. Trust me, I've had it happen. And next we have the weighted pressure plates. And I'm having trouble remembering what is what. So, okay, so the gold is the light weighted pressure plate, and the silver, or the iron, I guess, is heavy. And the way this works is either mobs or items will both put a signal out. However, it depends on how many are on it. So, if I throw just one redstone down, oh wow, I missed. If I throw just one redstone down, you'll see it puts out a signal strength of 1, because this one isn't powered. And let me just throw this down too. And it goes up to 2, and 3, and so on. So it will put out a signal strength of 1 for however many entities are on it. And you can use multiples of the same item. However, see it growing over there? But it goes away, and that's because when those items stack, it turns into just one entity per stack. And that's why I was using individual items. However, we can use skeletons, because why wouldn't I? I am Skellywampus. And you can see for each skeleton I add, the signal strength grows. And if I add one more, the lamp will turn on. Just like that. The heavy weighted pressure plate, however, is very different. I'm not going to attempt to use items. And let me get rid of these guys so they stop making noise. Okay, so if I just throw one skeleton in here, you'll see it does in fact put out a signal here. However, this one is not. It's the same thing as this one. However, if I throw another one, nothing happens. So you need one mob or entity or item, whatever you want to use, to get it one block. However, each additional block takes an additional 10 entities. So this one will take 11. So there's 2 in there now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And now it's powered that way. And so, to travel the full 15 blocks, if you want it fully powered, it would take 151 mobs or entities on that pressure plate. This is why you don't see very many people using these. There's really just not a whole lot going on that can actually utilize these mechanics. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7. So I would need 71 to trigger that. And that is just a ridiculous amount of mobs to fit on one pressure plate. If you're on Java, you're going to run into issues with entity cramming. I'm on Bedrock though, so we don't have that issue. And I'm this far. I'm going to go ahead and get that thing lit up. There we go. There we go. So I hit one more than I needed to, so that is 72 skeletons right there. Let's just get rid of them. Okay, so these two are going to be the most complicated that we have here. All right. A power strength of 1 per entity on it. And this takes 10 entities per signal strength, minus the beginning one. Okay. Okay, so that's the most complicated, okay? Now this is just a redstone block. There's really not a whole lot you can do with it. It's always on. Much like the redstone torch. It's always on. However, you can use this. Say, if I break this and place this here, if we place a block on top of that, it will power up through it. And this is using a mechanic known as conduction. This block is actually powered, just like this redstone block, but it's being powered by that torch. And we will talk more about conduction in later episodes. Okay, and then we have a simple lever. Flip it to turn it on, flip it to turn it off. There's not really a whole lot to be said there. And then we have the buttons, a stone button and wood buttons. And if you notice that, the stone buttons actually put out a shorter signal strength, or a shorter duration of signal than a wood button. So just remember that. Like if you're using buttons for your door, I would always recommend a wooden button, because if you use a stone button, it just seems like you can never get in fast enough, you know. However, there are some contraptions that do use the specific timing of a stone button, so just remember that. They have different timings. And then we have a daylight sensor, which works off the sun, which isn't moving because I'm in my redstone world. And this, the strength put out by this will actually be determined by the light level that it's receiving, or if you flick it into nighttime mode, the opposite. And so if it's bright outside, you'll get a signal. If it's not, you won't, or vice versa. And this is an observer. An observer will put out a 1-tick pulse, and we will talk about 1-tick pulses in another episode, but it'll just give out a short little redstone pulse here for everything that it's watching. You see its little face? It's looking at this lever. If I break it, it's like, oh no, you broke it. Well, if I put a pressure plate down, oh, look at that. Oh, you broke it again. Hey, redstone. Oh, it was my friend. But yeah, it just observes any updates that happen right in front of it. So we'll just throw a repeater there. Comparators can also be used as a power source. However, I am going to do an episode on comparators alone, because most of this was pretty simple. Like I said, these are overly complicated, and that's why you don't see people using them. Overly complicated, and there's really no good use for them. I've never seen somebody just in a random Minecraft world using weighted pressure plates. But yeah, remember, unless stated otherwise, these all put out a signal strength of 15. This one depends on the daylight, and these depend on what was spoken of earlier. All these other ones will put out a signal strength of 15, meaning that the redstone signal that they put off will travel 15 full blocks before needing to be boosted with a repeater. So, we've got our redstone dust, and now we've got a way to turn it on. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, go ahead and leave a comment and leave a like. And if you haven't already, why don't you go ahead and give that subscribe button a little love tap. And thank you guys for watching. Toodles.